A pleasant day to you, ma'am. I am Jela Corsiga, BSHM 3A. Today I'm going to discuss the topic about the Chapter 14, Insurance Law and Legal Aspects in Tourism and Hospitality. So these are the learning objectives of the topic. First, enumerate items that can be insured by tourism establishments. Second, identify the rationale behind the concept of insurance. Lastly, explain the different kinds of insurance. For the contents, first, introduction. Second, definition and concept. Third, insurable interest. Fourth, insurable interest in group insurance. Fifth, insurable interest in property. Sixth, beneficiaries. And seventh, fire, marine, and third-party liability insurance. Eighth, compulsory motor vehicle liability insurance. Ninth, war risk insurance. So for the introduction, insurance is vital for the tourism industry due to the substantial investments and various risks involved. Companies often opt for group insurance for employees as part of their benefits program. Property insurance, such as coverage against fire or earthquakes, safeguards buildings used in tourism operations like hotels and restaurants. Additionally, marine insurance is common for companies transportation goods by sea. Insurance contracts in the Philippines are regulated by the insurance law, which is PD 612 and now PD 1460, with provisions from the Civil Code applied when necessary. Definition and concept. The law section 2, which is a contract of insurance, is an agreement whereby one undertakes for a consideration to indemnify another against loss, damage, or liability arising from an unknown or contingent event. So an insurance contract is considered a contract of adhesion in which almost all the provisions have been drafted only by one party, usually the insurance company. The only participation of the other party is the signing of his signature or his adhesion. In this regard, such contracts are to be construed liberally in favor of the insured and strictly against the insurer in resolving all ambiguities against the latter. For the insurable interest, Law Section 10, every person has an insurable interest in the life and health. So, of any person on whom he depends wholly or in part for education or support, or in whom he has pecuniary interest. And second is of any person under a legal obligation to him for the payment of money or respecting property or services of which death or illness might delay or prevent the performance. So, insurable interest is a legal concept ensuring that a person must have a stake in the subject matter of the insurance policy. The law specifies various scenarios where insurable interest exists, including dependents for education or support and legal obligations for payment or services. In Section 13, every interest in property, whether real or personal or any relation thereto, or liable in respect thereof, of such nature that a contemplated peril might directly indemnify the insured, is an insurable interest. So in Section 13 defines insurable interest as any property, relationship, or liability where potential harm from a covered risk could directly affect the insured. This broadens the scope of insurable interest to encompass any situation where the insured could suffer damage due to a specified peril. So in Section 14, an insurable interest in property may consist in first, an existing interest, and create interest founded on an existing interest, and expectancy coupled with an existing interest that out of which the expectancy arises. In Section 15, a carrier or depository of any kind has an insurable interest in a thing held by him as such to the extent of his liability, but not to exceed the value thereof. This provision ensures that carriers and depositories can obtain insurance coverage to protect against potential losses related to their responsibilities. So, insurable interest in group insurance. So, group insurance allows individuals with contractual or commercial ties to insure each other's lives, like employers insure employees. Its main purpose is to provide affordable insurance coverage to employees and their families, fostering goodwill and aiding in employee retention. Now, under a single contract, It typically covers life or health insurance for employees. To qualify for benefits, employees must be actively working and have completed a specific period of continuous employment. The insurable interest in property. Insurable interest in property insurance is crucial both when the insurance begins and when a loss occurs. Owners of ships always have insurable interest, even when chartered with insurers liable for losses not recoverable from the charter. The extent of insurable interest is determined by potential damage or loss to the insured, and any policy exceeding indemnity against actual losses is illegal. Beneficiaries. The law section 18, no contract or policy of insurance on property shall be enforceable except for the benefit of some person have an insurable interest in the property insured. In section 19, an interest in property insured must exist when the insurance takes effect and when the loss occurs, but need not exist in the meantime. An interest in the life or health of a person insured must exist when the insurance takes effect, but need not exist thereafter or when the loss occurs. A person can only procure insurance on others' life if they have an insurable interest as outlined in the insurance codes in section 10. This requirement also implies to employers obtaining insurance on their employees' lives and health. For property insurance, the beneficiary must have insurable interest in the insured property, which must exist both at the policy's inception and when a loss happens. So however, for life or health insurance, the insurable interest must exist at the policy's inception, but not necessarily thereafter or during a loss. Fire, marine, and third-party liability insurance. In marine insurance, it encompasses protection against various risks related to vessels, property, and liability arising from maritime activities, including transportation, construction, and operation of vessels. It covers a wide range of property, including vessels, cargo, and precious items, along with liabilities associated with marine operations. Additionally, it includes marine protection and indemnity insurance, which safeguards against legal liabilities linked to vessel ownership, operation, and maintenance, encompassing personal injury, property damage, and other related incidents. The fire insurance. The law section 167, as used in this code, the term fire insurance shall include insurance against loss by fire, lightning, windstorm, tornado, or earthquake, and other allied risks, which such risks are covered by an extension of fire insurance policies or other separate policies. Fire insurance is essentially a contract of indemnity. In fire insurance, only a hostile and not a friendly fire is insured against. Under an open policy, the measure of indemnity is the actual loss sustained, and the burden is upon the insured to establish the amount of such loss. Under a valid policy of fire insurance, the valuation in the policy is conclusive between the parties. So, compulsory motor vehicle liability insurance. It mandates that all land transportation operators must have insurance or a surety bond to cover third-party or passenger liabilities arising from accidents. The law defines key terms such as motor vehicle, passenger, and third-party to clarify coverage parameters. Before registering or renewing registration for a motor vehicle, operators must obtain insurance or a surety bond or make a cash deposit to cover liabilities as specified by the law. So, war risk insurance. War risk insurance is an insurance covering damage caused by acts of war. It includes coverage for war, hijacking, and related perils. Insurers have intended to withdraw liability coverage for weapons of mass destruction, which is WMD, a subset of war risk insurance. WMD includes first, radioactive contamination, which is dirty bombs, electromagnetic pulse devices. Third, chemical or biological weapons. So, coverage was subsequently provided at full policy limits for passenger liability, but limited to a maximum of $50 million for all third-party injury and property damage. So thus, war risk insurance offers protection against damage resulting from acts of war, encompassing various perils such as war and hijacking. So the withdrawal of liability coverage for WMD highlights the evolving nature of insurance policies to adapt to emerging risks. Despite limitations, the provision of coverage for passenger liability at full policy limits underscores the importance of safeguarding individuals amidst volatile geopolitical landscapes. So that's all for this chapter 14, and I am Jela Corsiga, BS HM3A. Thank you for listening.